Cloud. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome. This is day 2 of our Jumpstart Your Book Weekend Intensive Training. So yesterday we had a really great time. We got to start to lay some of the foundational blocks for our book. We got to talk a little bit about our audience. We got to talk about our topic. We got to narrow in, our focus on exactly what we think the book may look like, the content, the way we want to lay it out. And then today, we're actually going to start 2 major things. We're going to start 1, your outline, for your book. And then 2, we're going to talk about the monetization, like the leveraging of the plan. And if I get time, I want to also talk about becoming an anthropologist and how that works using anthropological techniques, I should say, to enhance your movement. All right, enhance your movement with your book. So before we start that though, let's just do a quick check-in. Let's do a check-in to see how yesterday went for you all. So did you have any ahas in the middle of the night? Did you have any I wonder about this? Any questions that came up? Let's clear up anything that we need to clear up from yesterday. Let me stop sharing this now. Let's clear up anything that we need to clear up from yesterday before we actually go into today. So you can just unmute yourself and I'm gonna stop sharing this. You can unmute yourself and then we'll go into it. Anybody? No questions from yesterday? No ahas, no nothing? Okay, we good? We just want to go straight into today? All right, awesome. Okay, so what we left with yesterday was your audience and then also your problem, right? The fact that your book needs to address some type of problem. Your book needs to have some type of issue that it is solving, right? The fact that your book needs to be like the aspirin to someone else's headache, the aspirin to someone else's headache. So I want to continue right there for a moment before we actually jump into the outlining. And when you are working with your audience, you need to know your audience very intimately. If you remember yesterday when I talked about knowing who your audience is, but also some of the internal dialogue that is going on in their heads, right? The internal dialogue that's going on in their heads, so that it's clear to you exactly what they want, exactly what they need, exactly how they think of it. All of those things are things that I want you to know intimately. I want you to know your client like the back of your hand, right? Like the back of your hand. So some of the things that we do in order to do this are that we become what we call like the quote unquote anthropologist, okay? So we become the anthropologist for our book. And when you are an anthropologist, a cultural anthropologist, there is a technique that we use as far as putting yourself into the shoes of your reader. So that's what we're actually going to start with today. We're going to talk about how you need to get intimately connected to your audience. You don't ever want to be like on the periphery of your group. You want to be like connected to your group, right? You want to be directly connected to your group. So let me go ahead and see if it'll let me share this today, or will it still act up? Let's see, presenter view. Okay, present. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, let's see if it's gonna work today. I don't think it's gonna do it. I don't know why Canva seems to be crashing. Okay, so I won't do it that way. We'll just do it the same way we did it yesterday. Yep, it doesn't like Canva, so we're gonna do it the same way we did it yesterday. All right. Hey, Sharanda, I see you. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm running around. I don't want to be a distraction. I'll be
Yeah.
stable in like 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. All right. Good. All right. Oh shoot. Come on. I don't know why it doesn't like Canva. I'm gonna restart it. So when you're becoming an anthropologist, there are three major areas that I want you to use for research. So I want you to kind of get into the mindset that you're not just the author, you're also a researcher, right? So you have this group that is your target audience. You have this avatar that is your, your zoned in person that you are going to be serving. And then you need to find them, and your job eventually with marketing will be to get in front of them. So you want to get in front of the largest concentration of your target audience. If you remember that one thing, if you remember that one thing, getting in front of the largest concentration of your target audience, the largest concentration of your target audience. So many people sometimes focus on getting their book in front of just people. We're not doing that. We're getting the book in front of your target audience, right? And the largest concentration of your target audience. So share, bam. Okay, great. All right, can you all see that? You can?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so remember, right, we're not targeting the whole world. We are targeting our folks. So when you're becoming an anthropologist, these are three areas that I want you to focus on, right? One are organizations that serve your target audience, okay? Organizations that already serve your target audience. So if I am going for teachers, for example, if my target audience is teachers that I want to address at that time, then I'm going to be looking for organizations that serve teachers, right? That already have them grouped together. So I don't have to go find one. This one organization has 100 teachers in it, 200 teachers in it, 1,000 teachers in it, right? So organizations, social media groups. There is a good way and there's a bad way to use social media. The good way is that you use it to fuel the things that you want to do. The bad way is that you just waste time and just scroll and click on pictures and look at pictures like cats and stuff. You know what I mean? But the good way is that you actually focus in and you attract people to the things that you're looking to do. All right. So social media groups. What this means is that inside of Facebook, primarily Facebook, LinkedIn, there are groups of people who have already congregated themselves. Human beings always start to link up and they will find commonalities and they will group themselves together. So if you almost see like human beings kind of like in a big box or something, like naturally it'll be, if you start to see it from like a big picture, naturally they'll start to come together, and then people will actually like, what are you? What are you? And then they'll link up like magnets, almost link up. So that's already happening in social media, in Facebook groups, right? That's already happening. What that means is that you need to go find the groups of your largest concentration of folks, right? And you need to interject yourself in there, right? Now, the third thing are influencer pages. What I mean by influencer pages are people that your target audience already follow. These could be scholars that they follow. These could be celebrities that they follow. These could be just quote unquote influencers, as we call them today. People that have a large following, but it's just not just any old large following. There are a lot of the following is your target audience, right? Your target audience. So becoming the cultural anthropologist means that these are three of our sources, of where we're going to find our people. Now, this is extremely important because when you start to get beyond your family and your friends, you have to then be able to build your network. And this is how you build a network, right? Organizations of your target audience, social media groups, influencer pages. All right. So what we're going to do right now, you've already written out your ideal reader avatar, right? You've already written out, you know who your person is that you're going for, right? Everybody's clear with that. So what I want you to do right now is you're going to open up another browser. You're going to go into Facebook, right? You're going to go into Facebook, and let's just do an example right now. We'll do an example together before you do yours. So we're going to open up, we're going to go into Facebook. We're going to start with the social media groups, and then we're going to go into organizations. So someone give me a topic that we want to, someone give me a topic that we should look for, like I guess a reader. Give me a reader, ideal avatar that we can all do together right now as a group, and then okay, close that down. Dun, dun, dun. Chat. Yeah, everybody wants to be a part of something. Okay, so receive the email around 11:02. All right, so who wants me to do use them for an example? Just type into the chat box like your reader, and then we're gonna go through this exercise of how to find your reader. So type it into the chat box like what I should be looking for, and then I will we'll start.
So my avatar, remember yesterday I had two avatars.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the parent and I had the student.
Right.
I don't know.
So it's going to be difficult to find the students on Facebook. So let's go with the parents for this particular moment. All right. So let's try to find them. So let's see. Give me some other characteristics of these parents.
I narrowed it down to Yemeni American parent, mom or dad.
So let's just see what comes up if we type in Yemeni American parents. I forgot this computer is the slower one. I should probably open up on this side too. All right, so for pages, we have Yemeni American News. It has 6.5 thousand people. All right, was established in 2007. Let's just see what else comes up. Yemeni American Association, Yemeni American News, Yemeni American Association of Virginia. So these are things that I would like, even I would just go through and like them. I would start to see parents of, this is parents of African-American gifted and talented children. So that's not Yemeni, but you can see that this is a group for another group. And so you may want to start one for this. We'll see. All right, see all groups for Yemeni American parents. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. So what I'm seeing right now is that there's no group, right, that we find for Yemeni American parents. So what if we put Yemeni Americans? Let's see what happens. Yemeni American. All right, Yemeni American. So we got this wedding, Yemeni American parade, groups. Okay, so here's a group. 7 people or 7 posts a day. The Yemeni American News, that's that, so this newspaper has a group. So you want to join that. So you want to join that group. Americans Action for Peace in Yemen. Like all of the groups that seem to be related to what you're doing, you want to join those groups. Okay, Yemeni American House, Muslim American Community Enhancement. So we're not seeing like a really big group. Yemeni Jews, we're not seeing like a really big group, right, of people. So what this tells us is 2 things. One is that Yemeni Americans in Metro Detroit, 43 people. So that's not a big group, but it's still something, right? So one of the things is that you can join all of these groups around Yemeni Americans. Then maybe also start to look Yemenis of America. Okay, so let me see. Yemenis. Oh, shoot. I wish I had some Yemeni tea right now because I love that tea. Okay, Yemenis of America, 21,000. Awesome. Great. And yep, great. Okay. Okay. So definitely, like all of these pages, join all of these groups. We're going to talk about what you say in those groups in a minute. So Yemenis of America, I want to see if there are any other. Do you know if any others already that are groups?
These are the ones I know of. The
Oh,
newspaper,
here's you.
I know of. This one I know of. In fact, when I did that post, remember when you told me to post in a blog?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a key. Like I had the person in charge of the newspaper actually request me as a friend on Facebook.
See, I'm telling people, as soon as you start putting yourself out there,
yeah,
you like raise your hand that, hey,
yeah.
I'm available. I want to talk, just from one post. Good job
Yeah.
for taking action. Good job for taking action.
So
that's exactly what I want you all to do.
Yeah,
but
I can ask and see.
Yeah, ask that person. You can ask the person that requested you. And then here we go. Give me your attire, your prayer. Yemenis of America, stories from the diaspora. So I think this is a book, right? Collecting and sharing stories of Yemenis in America. If you would like to submit a story, da 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 da. Okay. This is old, 2017. Let me see if they're still doing any freshness. No. So everything in here is old, right? This is old, 2017. However, this is the perfect example of what you do when you don't see a group that is specifically centered around what you want to do or your target audience. That means there's a gap there. So you can create a group. You create your own group, right? This is specifically around stories from the diaspora. So they were probably doing a book or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or this. Yeah. Did you submit anything to them? Do you remember this?
No, I think my sister did. I'm not really sure.
All right.
The one, because I know Sally Howell was working on something. My sister has submitted a story to them, but it's still they're still working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can create your own group, right? This is a page. This is not a group. This is a page. But you can create your own group, Yemeni American parents. You know what I mean? If you want to do that, or Yemeni Americans, you can create your own group, or you can create a group centered around the book topic as well, like the book topic. And then you start to get people who are interested in what your subject is, right? So this is what we call like becoming an anthropologist, what we call like starting to do research into your group. So social media is one of the areas that you can find them. Now, let's go and just do Yemeni American. I'll just put education and see what comes up. So we're going to look for Yemeni American education. I spelled it wrong. It corrected it for me. Okay, the All-American Yemeni girls being Muslim in a public school. Oh, that's an article. So a lot of articles, it looks like, have come up or been a University of Pennsylvania. Yeah, the Sojourner experience of Yemeni American high school. So you see what we're doing though? Like we're starting to become the researcher. We're finding other things that are related to our topic, our people. And what we're finding are groups, but then we're also identifying who are the influencers for our target audience, who has already done some work, right? Who has already done some work to coalesce and bring people together of our target audience so that we can tap into one person and potentially reach hundreds of people, right? Versus just us reaching one. By these organizations and such, we're going to be able to tap into one person and reach several more. Now, the other thing is that these people who wrote this article, for example, all right, so this was the Harvard Educational Review, fall of 2001, included an article by Sukia K. Sarub titled The Sojourner Experience of Yemeni American High Schools. So we know that high school is not, you're targeting middle grade readers, right? We understand that. However, this person may be a great person to have on your team, of your advisor team, your advisory team, the people who are helping you put your things together, some people that you run things by, your beta testers, beta readers, right? So you're creating, at the same time as you're getting to know your audience more, you're also creating a strong network around your book, either through advisors or people that you're going to ask to read the book and give you a testimonial later. So let me first check in. Is this making sense to you all? Are you all understanding like why we're doing this and how you can attach what we're doing to your topic? Let's just check in. Is it making sense, you all? And unmute yourselves, because I don't want to be seeming like it's like different when you're doing it through this, like usually you're in a space and now we're not. So unmute yourselves and let me know, is it all making sense?
Yes, it makes sense. For me, it makes sense.
All right. So, okay. So let's do Dr. Alexis, give me your avatar. Who's your avatar again?
My avatar, I narrowed it down, and that was when you said, did you have an aha moment? I just didn't respond because I had I wasn't alone. I have some people. Oh, come on.
We can still hear you and see you.
Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on. I keep doing this. Yeah, I had well, you guys could still see me, so I had I was busy because I'm working still, even though I'm working with you, I'm still working. But
why are you working right now?
Well, because you know why.
No, you need to stay focused. You're gonna miss something out of this weekend if you're doing multitasking stuff. I should have told you guys that earlier. Like, put aside any other stuff. Like, I'm for real. Like, you need to be in this, because if your mind is here and you're also doing this over here, you can't go to the level of depth that I need you to mentally go to. Your mind is gonna stay on the surface.
Yes, ma'am. I'll put it down.
Okay. Just for a few hours. Just for a few hours.
So last night, I was running it by my husband. Mm-hmm. And because I always run everything by him. That's what marriage is. And so I was like, okay, I have to find a person I'm trying to sell this book to, which is my audience. And he's like, mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I wanted to be honestly a stay-at-home mom, doesn't have a job, doesn't have a career, doesn't know how she can make some extra income, and doesn't necessarily want to buy Avon to sell or, Mary Kay. She can start her own where everything is what she made and she can know what the ingredients are. So I've given her name Khadijah because I love that name. So her name is Khadijah. Khadijah is 32 and Khadijah has 2 sons and a daughter and a baby on the way. And unfortunately, her husband is gone. He passed away. So my avatar is in a dilemma because she's about to have another son. She already has 2 sons. She has a daughter. Her daughter is the oldest, so her daughter is able to help her, because most women, when at that stage in life, whatever they decide, they have to have children who are going to help them. It just makes a difference. So she'll be able to create this extra income from the comfort of her home, incorporate her children in the process. So I'm only going to target that because that's who I can help, So I started thinking about everything you said and I'm like, yeah, because it could be a service. This could be like a outreach, because I'm going to help someone in need versus people who are just trying to find some recipes or, take advantage of what appears to be my stupidity to be giving away recipes. You never know. Right. So like the target should be someone who needs you. And that I could see this being brought to like a homeless shelter. Find some women in there who have their children who need to have an income, something they could create and build for themselves. A domestic violence shelter, just go into the social service and talk to some women in there like, hey, are you trying to start your own business? I have a book that can help you, you know, even if I'm giving it away sometimes, because sometimes, like you said, you give away books. But what am I doing? The universe is going to provide because it's contributing, you know. And of course, because it's like that, it could be a nonprofit organization. It could be a lot of the possibilities are endless if I just by focusing on my targeted audience.
Yes, exactly. You're absolutely. I'm so happy you were able to narrow it down, because now you have a social charge to what you're doing as well, right? Like Jahada asked you yesterday about your why, right? Like now you have a social reason that's bigger than just you. Yeah. You know, it's bigger than just you. It's a social movement now of helping these women. I did a post the other day because you know, I was like I worked back and forth. So I worked in corporate, then I came out, then I had kids, then I came, you know, went back to work, came out, dibbling, dabbling, all these different things. And I did this for like maybe 13, you know, years or so. So when I got divorced last year, I was in a position where if I did not have my business, if I did not have some type of skill that I could have monetized, I would have been jacked up. And so many women end up staying in certain relationships that they know are not good for them because they don't have the economic freedom to leave, you know, certain relationships or abusive relationships. That wasn't my case, but you know what I mean? Like there are things that keep people in situations. So what you're saying is that like you want to give women the freedom to be able to write their own check, you know, create their own income for a multitude of reasons. So, all right, so let's start doing some searches on here. Let's see. So I started with moms starting a business just to see what comes up. So moms supporting moms, homemade business support, you know, 10 posts a day, that's pretty good for a group. You can, you know, join these groups. I want to start a business. Where do I start? Online business building mamas. Let's see what else comes up. Successful mom entrepreneurs, mommies on the mission. Okay, so what you're doing, Black Moms Blog, this may be really cool. I was trying to see if I was in a group already, but it doesn't look like one. But what you do is that you start to join these different groups and you see what people are posting, you know, what questions they're asking, and you begin to insert yourself into that community. First, as an observer, then second, as an a participant. So let me explain a little bit further. All right. So when you first go in, you're going to be like the snoop. Meaning you're just going to read, you're going to like see what people are posting, you're going to look at the questions, you know, you may do a search. You know how you're in a group and you can put a search word in there and see what comes up for your, you know, your group. I mean, your thing. You can see having trouble at school or kids, how to teach to read or something like that. You can start to search in the group, you know, for posts that are related to what you're saying. So you're just going to be a snoop at first. Then you're going to come in and you're going to be like this dude. Hold on. Let me see if I can find my picture. Yeah, you're going to be like this dude. You're going to be like the life of the party, right? You're going to come in and you're going to be the life of the party. So what that means is that when I come in, now I'm going to make posts, right? I'm going to make posts. I'm going to say, hey, you know, I'm on this mission to help other women be able to start a business because I had to start a business when I was 14, when I got pregnant with my first child. You know what I mean? You tell a little bit about yourself so that it's relatable. It's not just like you coming in like, hey, but you open up, you're a little bit vulnerable, a little bit, you know, telling, sharing, and then you give the help that you can give. Like I'm on this mission to help, you know, other women be able to start a business. I'm putting together, I've compiled my history, my knowledge, my experiences. I've compiled that into a book that I'm going to be putting out. Anybody here interested in reading a little bit and giving me some feedback or something? You know what I mean? So now you're getting people seeing who's interested in what you're doing, and you're starting to raise your hand. Let me show you one example that I did for my company inside of for book stuff. Arsha, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, Asha. I'm gonna try to find my name. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so here's the post. No, here's the group. So here's the group. This is a group of primarily Black entrepreneurs, not all, but primarily Black entrepreneurs. There's 37,000 people in there. Okay, so here, let's go to, I'm going to search for my name, Zarina, so I can find one of my posts. All right, so Zarina, let's see, anyone here? So this one was just a straight up, anyone here, anyone looking to write a book, nonfiction, and need some help? You know, like I literally just said, this is what I'm doing. Like, do you need some help? But this post, okay, this post was for those. Okay, wait, hold on. This one, let me see if I can click this one to show. All right, so this was a post I did back in August. So here's my picture, right? So that I'm introducing my stuff in here. Then I say, hey y'all, for anyone thinking of taking the leap into writing a book, definitely go for it. I've been in the publishing and internet business world for over 7 years now. And when lockdown started, I was just about to open my physical academy. Since that was scrapped with COVID, I decided to redesign my online programs using my book as the foundation. Now, I only had the electronic version, which was done and out there, but I wanted to make some changes. This book isn't even fully launched yet, and the concepts inside are already responsible for both massive growth for my business and the completion of 4 other books for clients. This is back then. So I've compiled a checklist in order to make the book writing and creation journey as smooth as possible to eliminate any stress and overwhelm. You can launch your book with ease when you know what to do. Comment below if you want the free checklist. I will be happy to share, right? So it was a free checklist that I was given in this case. And like 79 people said they wanted the checklist, right? Like 79 people responded to that group, to that post. So you want to think about, once you know the groups, because you started being a snoop and you started looking around in there, then you can position yourself in there as well, right? You can position what you can offer. So you can do this. And then Selwa, I want you to share with us your post that you did. Let me see if I can stop mine. Do you have your computer or are you on your phone?
I'm on my computer.
Okay, so I'm going to stop my share. Go to your post that you did just the other day, like the first post about your book, so we can see how that looked for them. Everybody should be doing posting in groups. This is what you call organic marketing, organic building up of your network. It's free. It's free, right? There's no cost to it. It's not Facebook ads that you're doing. It's a straight up free thing. And this is going to help you build your network, but also it's going to help you begin to know your people much better. So imagine if over the next, few months or whatever, you're continuing to go in these groups, answer questions, things like that. That is going to then allow you to have way more people than if you just say, oh, I'm launching my book tomorrow. They don't even know who you are. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know you.
You disabled the sharing. You have to
okay, let me see.
Enable it.
Oops. Okay, try now.
I can find it. This was before. Oh, here it is. So I created a blog, and so I just said check out my blog, so they would click on it, and this is my post. It's a little long, I know, but yeah, but it attracted a lot of people. Like I have if I go to, last time I checked, I had like 400 visitors to the site.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's more now, like about 400.
And that was your first blog or first thing that you put out about like your subject and book?
Yeah, first post.
Yes.
And I got some comments here, like.
That is awesome.
And these are friends and like one person I don't even know. Like acquaintances, and like this person I don't even know, but she was happy.
Yeah, hold on, let me read it real quick. She says, Selwa, we don't know each other, but I'm always proud to see my Yemeni American sisters do amazing things. Congratulations, and I look forward to the release of your book. We'll share when it's closer to being released. Hopefully we will get an update on the Facebook group. What Facebook group is she talking about?
That's a private group for Yemeni women. I'm in it, and I posted in it too.
Yes. So you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You know, you're finding the largest concentration of your people, and then you're inserting yourself in front of them as someone, and then they are already clamoring. They're saying, we love you, we support you, we want this even more. So now the next step, Selwa, is these people, you want to invite them, get their email addresses so that you can build up an email list, right? And you want to invite them. The fastest, easiest way is to have your own Facebook group that you control, right? Your own Facebook group that you control. You invite everybody to be in that group, and then you want to make sure you get their email addresses, because Facebook could change their algorithms at any time and just say, okay, well, we're not going to share this anymore to people. So they may be, hundreds of people in the group, but they may not share it out. But email you own. An email you can send out whenever you want to send out to your people, and they're going to get it, right? So that is definitely something that you can, that you'll be able to do for yourself.
But I'm just thinking, like a Facebook group, how often do I have to post? That's the thing, because I don't feel comfortable posting things that are not necessary. You know what I mean?
So the thing is, with a Facebook group, let me talk about two different things. So one is a Facebook group that's specifically for supporters for your book. Like this is an option, right? Like there's a Facebook group that's specifically for supporters of your book, right? So you tell them, like, I'm just going to be giving periodically or weekly, updates on my book. Pick one day, and that's the day you give some updates on your book project, right? Like that's one type of Facebook group. Another Facebook group is like, Yemeni American parents, right? So it is open, is not just specifically around your book, but the group is open to your larger target audience. And then other people can post in the group, themselves. It's an engagement type of group, right? Probably like the one that you just said that you posted in for the moms. So that type of group is the one that you curate, centered around your audience. And then you do have to put in work to build up the engagement so that they begin to post. So probably we should pick which type of group you want to start, if you want to start your own group, or if you don't want to start your own group, and you feel like there's enough out there already, just insert yourself into the ones that are there. But then all these types of people, you should have 15 emails. Like, hey, email me your email so I can give you regular updates. Or you can make a quick free Google form, follow along for feedback, or follow along on the journey of publishing under the SNAS guideline. A quick free Google form, they put their name and their email address, and you're building your email list. Yeah. Does that make sense, you all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the purpose of this is, again, twofold. One, so that you're getting to know your people intimately. And again, the more you know them intimately, the better you can market and position your book later. Also, the better you'll be able to write the content. The second thing is that you are then building up your network, so that when you are publishing, it's not publishing to crickets. You have people that will be your beta readers. You have people that will give you testimonials. You have people, like they said here, that they will share it out for you later, when the time comes up. Yes, Dr. Alexis.
Question. So if you already have like a following on Facebook and you already have like a business page, can you change the name of that page to
Yeah.
to suit your endeavor?
Yes. So Facebook allows you to change the name of a business page, but they don't let you like flip the script from two totally different names, like one to one. It's like let's say I had Book Power and I wanted to change it to Zarina Elamine. They wouldn't let me do that because it's like totally seemingly unrelated. So I may be able to do Book Power by Zarina, and they may let me do that or something, but yeah, they don't usually let you go all the way. But for
So
you,
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So if because I that's something I was really concerned about, because or should I just name my series after what I already have?
What's your
Since it's
page
already
name right now?
right now I have the Eminence Healing Energies page, but I don't use that anymore. And I switched over to Healthy Living with Eminence. And that is where I share recipes. I already do that type of stuff and have people who follow it or whatever. It's not as successful as the Eminence Healing page because people still go to that page because that was a page for like 13 years now. But I'm trying to, I don't use it because you know how you hire people, you have an admin on a page, and then if they don't work for you anymore, they can still control it, and they actually removed me from my page.
Oh, jerk. Wow.
So I had to create that's like the scariest part of that, is like if you have someone else moderate and you can make them a moderator or a editor, but never make them the admin because they have total power. And if they can remove you.
Yeah.
I had to create the Healthy Living with Eminence page, and on that one I'm trying, I couldn't keep the same name because that other page already existed.
Yeah.
So I had to completely rebrand. Even on Instagram, like, so now all the accounts all say Healthy Living with Eminence. I had to rebrand everything.
Wow, that's really unfortunate. It's really bad that people try to do something like that. I have heard of this happening, and I've heard where some people have been able to prove they're the owner to Facebook and they were able to get their stuff back, but it's like a hard process because Facebook's customer support is not great at all. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But for two things. One is, I think you should stay with the brand that you're already in. Like, don't try to change it. You already have that across all of your different platforms. The only thing I would say for someone starting off brand new scratch is if they don't have anything in their own name, they should use their own name. Because then, if you have this series and then this series 5 years from now, and then this series 10 years from now, it's all under your name as the brand. And you are the glue, right? You're the glue. So yeah, I wouldn't try to change your name on your page at all. I wouldn't do that. Just leave it. Yeah. All right. Okay. So this is what you want to do, centered around like getting to know your audience. You're going to do that on Facebook. You're going to join groups. Now, one thing on Facebook, just to be cautious, Facebook doesn't like when you post the exact same thing in multiple groups. Like, let's say you post the exact same post in 5 groups or whatever on the same day. They don't like it, and they will probably put you in like Facebook jail. Basically you can't post in any other groups. This happened to me because my assistant was posting in like multiple groups, and I was like, dang, it was like for I think 2 weeks or whatever, I couldn't post in any groups. So don't post, don't copy and paste the same thing into multiple groups. Just do like, you can do 2 groups, but I think really no more than that. And if you're going to use like the same post, but you maybe change up the picture or something like that, so it doesn't flag you.
I just had an idea, Sarita, and I just wanted to run it by you right now.
Yeah.
So I know you said like target audience, like Yemeni Americans, but I was thinking now, I think, what if I started a Facebook group that had Arab American Arab American literature?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
I
Yeah.
think, and then invite people, and then people can post whatever they
Yep.
want.
Yeah. Yeah. That is perfectly fine. So what like what you're inviting is that you want people to post about all different books, right? Like all different books around Arab American literature, which is great. Just know that that may cause a little, not competition, but you want to make sure that you are the owner, and you're the owner of that group. You know what I mean? Like this one thing my father used to say to me all the time. He said that he jacked up when he started some of his businesses, that he would have partners and things that partnered with him, but the way that they partnered, they were smarter, that they had certain things like with their brand, and he built up some other people's brands. And when he got older, like he doesn't have any like thing with those anymore, right? So he was always trying to tell me, like, make sure you have 100% ownership of your stuff. He was telling me with the calendar, because he thought one of my friends was trying to steal my calendar, right? This calendar, the beautifully wrapped calendar that I do. And he was like, "That's your calendar, ZB. ZB, you put that calendar together. You did all the stuff. You built it up. Blah, blah, blah. Don't you let nobody take your calendar for me." So he had this whole thing or whatever. But it's true that you do want to make sure, that you have ownership over it, and that you're going to get what you need out of it as well, right? So always work towards that.
So I was thinking more like a support group.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was
for
thinking.
authors or for teachers?
For everybody, like for authors, for parents, for teachers. So authors would post and everybody would benefit, like the authors, the parents, the educators.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was thinking about it. So I wasn't thinking about it like in terms of competition.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you have something, you post and everybody supports you.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. I think let's see. Is there anything like that?
I think I think that the name should be like inclusive to, like how she's saying, all teachers, because what I find, I haven't been in public school a lot, but what I find is that American teachers, whatever their I don't know their religion, I just know they're American teachers. When they teach Yemeni students, it's like they think they're coming to save those students, and they want to show them all the American things they can, like including the literature. They want to read those books to them. They want to, put them into the American culture, so they push that more than the Yemeni culture, because they feel like they already have that on their own. But I think there are some sincere teachers, regardless of whatever their nationality, whatever their religion, that want kids to know their culture, and those are the teachers I think should be able to know that they should join that group and get the information that they need to find books that they don't have access to. I don't know how to name it, but they some kind of way should be invited to that group.
So maybe the name, I agree with you. Maybe the name should be more inclusive.
Yeah, some kind of way. I think so. Yeah.
So there's already a group on here called there's a group on here called Arab American Literature, with like maybe 4.7 thousand people or whatever. So this is a group, you should join.
Can you put them in the tray?
Wait, I'm gonna.
What is it called? Arab American Literature?
Okay, yeah, Arab American Literature. So this group is open to all those interested in the history, literature, and culture of Arab Americans. The group, Arab American Literature and Culture, is focused on news, events, and information that shed light on the Arab American community, including writers and artists in general. The page aims to share quotes, poems, excerpts from writings, links, videos, interviews, and any posts that deal with Arab American writers, publications, poetry readings, cultural events and festivals, and academic articles that discuss issues and themes related to Arab American literature and culture. Anyway, so basically join this group, and then see if this group is exactly similar to what you want to do. I see this girl already posted about her. Portage is in Kalamazoo, Portage District Library. That's in Michigan. Yep. Here we go, Portage, Michigan. So, you know, join this group. You can share your stuff in there about your book, and then see if this group is similar to what you're envisioning for yours.
Okay.
You know, yeah. All right, cool. Because one of the things I'm thinking about for you too is that you also probably will need to look for groups of, you know, let me see, culturally responsive education. You may need to find groups of educators, you know, culturally responsive teaching. That's a group, but it only has 2 posts a day. So, you know, you look at all the different angles that you could take, and then you put yourself in all of those different angles, right? Don't just pick, don't just pick one. All right, cool. Good. So let me stop this sharing. All right. So this is what we're calling like becoming an anthropologist, right? Like becoming an anthropologist for your book. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take like a 10-minute, not break, but we're gonna take a 10-minute working session. So what I want you to do is go onto Facebook, do some research, find some groups that you can join right now. At least join 5 groups. So at least, let me admit her. So at least join 5 groups that are centered around your target audience, okay? 5 groups that you're gonna join right now. And your job today is gonna be to do an introductory post, right? So you're gonna go and do all the snooping and stuff later, but you're just gonna do an introductory post with your picture if you're comfortable, if not, without your picture, but just, hey, new to the group, I'm here because I'm doing research around XYZ, or I am passionate about XYZ and looking forward to getting to know you all later. No ask, no request, just an introductory post. Looking forward to getting you all, knowing you all later. All right, so we're gonna take a 10-minute working, not break, 10 minutes to go on Facebook, find at least 5 groups and join those groups. Now, when you join those groups, what I want you to do is you need to remember, so you can find all of your groups on Facebook. I want you actually to make a spreadsheet, or at least write them on a sheet of paper. You know, write the names of the groups that you joined on a sheet of paper so that you know what you're in. All right. So starting now, 10 minutes, go on Facebook, find some 5 groups and join them right now.
Zarina, I have a question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I made a Facebook page like maybe 3 weeks ago, I think 4 weeks. I'm not sure how long ago. It's just sitting there. I didn't do anything with it because I'm trying to have everything ready to when I am confident to go. So should I use that page right now, or should I just use my regular page right now?
You mean you made a new Facebook page?
Yeah, I made a page with the name of what I think what I want my book to be named, what I want my program to be named, what I've been using,
is it a business page or is it a personal page?
It's a business. I don't know if I didn't pay for it or anything, but it's a business page. It's supposed to be a business page.
Yeah, you should use your regular personal page.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so I have been here. I'm trying to find like women's groups that zero in though.
Let's
Because
talk about your person again. Let me see. Let me share my screen. So share screen. While I'm talking to her, you all go and do your research, right? Like you find your people and join your groups, at least 5. And if you join the 5 and we're still not done, then make your introductory post right now in those 5. Nothing real fancy. Don't overthink it. Just, make an introductory post. All right, Sharanda, talk to me.
So I was trying not to be like so vague, like trying to like just go into something just so generic like Black Girls Rock or something like that, because it's I don't anticipate or foresee it being only targeted for Black women. I am in a few groups that do focus on self-care in different types of ways. So I'm wondering, like, if that is the avenue that I go down, like any pages where they are talking about women's mental health or wellness, or I don't know. I don't know if
let me free your mind for 1 second, Sharonda. Let me free your mind for 1 second.
Okay.
So one of the things that your mind is doing right now is trying to step into like the realm of perfectionism. Like,
I know.
And you don't even need to go there. Like, where you want to stay is in the mindset of testing. One of the things, like, for successful entrepreneurs is that when they fail quickly and they recover quickly. What I mean by that is that if we tell someone, okay, go find 10 groups, they'll just find 10, even if it's not 100% perfect, right? You find 10 groups, you put up your introductory post, and then you see how many of those groups resonate with your post or not, right? So let's say if I find, right now you're doing 5. Let's say you do 5 and you just find 5, whether they're going to be perfect or not. You do an introductory post, and then you see, okay, out of the 5, really only 2 of them people even commented or said anything or responded, right? So, okay, so those 2, I know I can kind of engage in those. The other 3, I may try one more time with a different kind of post, or in those 3, I may do a search and see if anybody else has already asked a question around something I can answer a question for. But if those other 3 don't work, then I'm just gonna pick another 3. It's like Scrabble. You know how you have Scrabble, you play, I just played the other day, so that's why it's on top of my head. But like Scrabble, you have 7 letters. You keep those 7 letters on your thing. And then, when you use 2, then you get 2 more from the bag and you refill it, right? So you always have 7. So kind of like realize it's going to be like that. You're going to fail a lot with this, and you're going to just fail fast, and then tweak and adjust and test. And that's the way you want to approach it, because perfectionism will keep you paralyzed. It will be analysis paralysis over and over and over and over and over again, and you'll never actually move. So let's just find some groups, and then you're going to see what happens. And if those don't work, just find some more. You talking to me, Sharonda? Nah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So it put my headphones as my microphone, but I can't hear in them. My computer does crazy. So it being a perfectionist definitely has hindered me recently. So yeah, that's why I'm like, all right, let me just go with it. Okay, I'm in there.
Yep, just go with it. And honestly, it's gonna be testing mode. It's testing time. It's like you almost want to see it like a laboratory. Like you are a scientist with a hypothesis. So I think this is gonna be the one that's gonna work for me. And then you come in, you test it. And if it doesn't work, then you just tweak. Like feel like you're Albert Einstein or George Washington Carver Jr. or somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like when they didn't get it right the first time, the formula wasn't right. They didn't stop. They just made some adjustment. And that's the same thing we have to do with this kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. I'm doing it.
Okay. Anybody else need any help around their audience and thinking about any like different angles? I think many of you all have many angles, but let me know.
Okay, Sister Zarina, so I have to do, to join a group, so it says public group, but you have to do a questionnaire. So when they're asking me, if I'm trying not to act like I'm trying to compete or whatever, how do you answer these questions? What do you worry about the most when it comes to your child or your teen's reading?
Show me, let me stop my share and then you show me your screen.
Okay.
Let me see if it did the thing again. So everybody who hasn't yet, find 5 groups, join them now. And if you already did that, do an introductory quote post in there. If you can use a picture, use a picture. All right, cool. So I want my kids to read. Scroll up so we can read what it says.
Oh, it's asking me my what age are your children?
Okay,
yeah.
Great. What do you worry about the most when it comes to so first of all, let me just say that this type of group, the person who started this group is probably a person just like you, right?
Yeah.
That's what I figured. Yes. And so this is a good example. If you ever wanted to start your own group, these are some of the questions that you may even want to copy and paste or possibly use to model. All right. So what do you worry about the most when it comes to your child teen's reading development? So you can tell them, first of all, they don't really read these things extensively, but you can say, I want to learn new tips to help my friends, or other people with their kids reading. What would you like to learn? So that's kind of the same. I would just copy and paste the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep, just copy and paste it.
Leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the last one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. The reading. Oh, it's a small group, 128.
Yeah, it's a small group. I figured she might have just started it, maybe. Yeah.
Can you read the about part? Click the see more on the right. It might go there.
What was see where?
It was on the other page before you clicked off. It was on the right hand side. Oh, it went away. So sometimes I'll just read on the about, like I'll read the about thing and see. Yeah, you see that on the right hand side about in that box.
My sister. I just see this about right here.
Oh, that's my timer.
There's another about?
Yeah, right there.
I see.
Hold on 1 second.
That's it.
That's my timer. Hold on.
Yeah, just this small. That's all she said. Not much.
Okay. If you want your children to become proficient readers and learners, you're in the right place. Yeah. Okay. So great. So good. So that's a group. And now it's true. Some of them you have to wait till you even get, it may be pending for a day or 2 days or something. So feel free to request more, but I want you at least today to request at least 5, and then you're going to do an introductory post in them. All right.
I want to ask you about this page, because this lady, I actually have been stalking her, because I watched her basically from the beginning of when she started, and now basically she started, I don't know when she exactly started, but not too long before the pandemic started.
Oh.
But now she's she's making good money, mashallah. She started like a whole little center. She's doing workshops for parents. She's in the schools. She got contracts for the schools. She's really, really on it. And I just been, I really have been enjoying watching her. But this is not a group page, but I'm already on her page. But I just want to know, how do I interact with someone like her, more?
Or, so for her, you want to see, you can send a message, send a message, send an email, and and introduce yourself, tell her what you're doing. That would probably be the best way to do that.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But that's not considered a page. That's not a group to join. That's something.
But what it is an influencer.
An influencer. She's an influencer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't have a big following, like 226. It depends on how
she's on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, she has all her followers on Instagram, and she does the lives on Instagram.
Okay. Yeah. So certain people use different platforms, right?
Yeah.
Certain people use different platforms.
Yeah.
Yep. So I would keep a list though. I like to stay organized as possible. So have a spreadsheet, you know, with a list of the groups that you're in. You can put how many people are in the group, you know, a list of the pages that you're following, so that you just know like what the network kind of looks like around your stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So we're gonna go into one more thing before we take our break. So let me share my screen, because we got a lot to cover today, actually, you all. A lot to cover. All right. So, bam, there you go. So you all see that, right? Designing your book for success?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So here's one of the things that we want to just remember constantly. It's not about you. It's about them. This is why we're doing this research. This is why we're building in these anthropological techniques of being a participant observer. Observer means you just a fly on the wall, you know, like you're just looking around, That's cool for a bit. But at a point, you have to be a participant observer, meaning you have to get into the community, answer questions that people post in the group. If you see someone posting a question that you can provide some feedback on, you answer, right? And people will begin to see your name and they will begin to want to know more about you. So what we're going to shift to right now is I want you to kind of put yourself and position it and think about it as if the book is done, right? Done. So I want you to think about, what would somebody else say about your book? So if recommending your book to somebody else, how do you imagine they would describe it? So let's say I see somebody in the airport and they're reading a book, or at the bus stop, like this picture, they're reading a book. And I'm like, oh, what are you reading? And they're like, oh, I'm reading a book about XYZ, right? Or I'm doing XYZ. I'm filling out this XYZ. You know, what would they say? What would they say about your book? Okay, what would they say about your book? So we're going to take just a quick, like, few minutes, and I want you to kind of envision that. First of all, visualize it happening. See some people talking about your book, not your mama and your friends, but see some other people talking about your book. And then what would they be? How would they describe it? What would they say? All right, I think it should be clear. If it's not clear, let me know. But you're going to have a few minutes to go ahead and write that out now. 3 minutes or so. And do it on a blank sheet of paper. When you finish, type into the chat box so I know you're done.
You want us to type it in the chat box?
You can. Yeah, go ahead. Type it into the chat box.
Okay, I thought that was what you said. All right.
Mm-hmm. Finish. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So, Sharanda, tell me, what would they say when they're talking about your book?
Child. So I put it's a self-help book. It's a book designed to help you process through your personal perspectives and find your true purpose.
Would they use the word perspectives? Like, would you say that to your friend?
I use it in the book a lot.
Okay. So yeah, so they would have been indoctrinated into your language. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, good job. Let's see, Dr. Alexis, what would somebody say when they are introducing your book to somebody else or recommending your book to somebody else? Oh wait, unmute yourself.
Okay, I wrote, wow, I read this book and I'm so satisfied with the results. I was able to launch my skincare business using all of the recipes, and I made all of the products myself by my hand. You need to get this book.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I like it. So satisfied. The only part I'm wondering is the satisfied, because I'm wondering would they actually say that. I'm so satisfied with the results. So whenever we're thinking about, like, from our reader's perspective, we want to use like real words. If that's a real word that you would use, like, then cool. Like if you're talking to your friend, great. But like really like make it in girlfriend speak almost. You know what I'm saying? Like just not perfect English, not great. Like it's real stuff that they would be saying. This is going to be a habit that we have to consciously use that language. All right. But I like the way you have it real, meaning like they are getting results. They already got results from it. Now, Dr. Alexis, this is a question for you. Let's say they're just now reading it, but they didn't actually finish the book yet. So they're just now in it, but they haven't launched their business. Maybe they didn't even make anything yet. Like, what do you think about for those people?
Well, I mean, from the beginning, once you get the first recipe, it already covered the cost of the book. Like if you just open the first chapter and read the first recipe, and you don't even have to make it, because I'm going to break down like how much it costs to make this particular batch and how many, like, because the first chapter is soap, right? So from reading chapter 1 and you read how much it's going to cost you to make that batch of soap, and at the least amount, if you sell each bar for $5, once you sold 4 bars of soap, you've already paid for the whole entire book, because the book is going to be $19.95. It can't be no lower. So once someone reads that, they're like, wow, that's just off of the first recipe. And it's gonna have several recipes for making soap. Like each chapter is gonna have more than one recipe. Right. But I believe that once anyone reads, it doesn't matter who the individual is. If you buy soap from the store and you read this book, you're gonna be like, wow, once I make this batch of soap, it's like I got soap for the whole year, It already paid for itself. So I think just because you're getting back more than what you put in, that always is going to have like a positive effect on the reader, because we read books all the time. Some gratify our souls, some, enlighten our mind, our spirituality, some give us peace and comfort. But when I can save some money in my pocket, I like that book. I love that book.
Right. All right, cool. So this book, I'm about to get into it. It's going to teach me how to start my business. I'm also going to be saving some money. Okay, great. And as you all hear other people, if you have some feedback for them, like drop it in, right? Like drop it in. All right, good. Beautiful. So Jahada, what about you?
I'm actually still working on it.
Okay. All right. We'll come back.
Okay.
And Salwa said, Under the Sunas Guideline is a beautifully written book that portrays the splendor of Yemen and the kind spirit of its people. The illustrations also display Yemen's beautiful heritage. I highly recommend this book. Parents, if you want your children to learn and respect their culture, this book is must read. Okay, great. So you can see, like when she says, the splendor of Yemen, right? All that's like beautiful stuff, but probably nobody gonna ever say that to their friend. Like it displays the splendor of Yemen, because those are words that a written testimonial may come in like that, but nobody's gonna really say that like to their friend. So just
yeah, the first part I thought you meant like what would somebody write about it, like formally. Then when I heard you saying no, what would friends say about it? Then I wrote the last part, parents. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Good. So we're going to keep that in mind too, right? Like keep visioning. We're talking about how powerful the brain is, how powerful the brain is going to help you to create what it is that you're visioning. So you keep these visions in mind. You keep seeing people talking about your book. You keep seeing people recommending your book. You keep seeing people getting ahas and getting value and really learning something from your book, right? You keep seeing that happen, and then you're going to be working to create it. All right, so we have what, 3 more things in this section, then we're going to take a quick break. All right, so that is how would they describe it. So now the second thing, which is very similar to this but a little bit deeper, is what does your reader learn from your book? What does your reader learn from your book? All of these are going to overlap and there'll be some overlay, but what does your reader learn from your book? Okay, so take a couple of minutes and write that out. What does your reader learn from your book? So on your paper, put learn, they learn. When you're finished, type finished, or just type it into the chat box. So this is all about what they learn from your book. Done. Uh-huh. We'll take one more minute. Done, done, done. Okay. We're going to talk them all out after the last one. So this next one is, how do you want your reader to feel? How do you want them to feel? So we did, like, how do they describe it? Then we did, what do they learn? And then now we're like on the emotional side. How is the reader going to feel at the end of that book? Some books make you angry. And the author wants you to feel angry because they want you to be motivated to take some type of action. Some books make you feel inspired, right? Like, oh, I can do this. I can go and do something. Some books just give you an idea of happiness. You know, some books make you sad and contemplative, right? So what do you want your reader to feel when they finish reading your book? All right, so write down all, you're going to keep these notes after this thing is done, right? So you want to make sure you have them all down. Like, how do you want your reader to feel? All right, when you're done with feeling, type it in so I know you're done. And then we're going to go to the next one. We're getting deeper and deeper into the relationship your reader is going to have with your book. And notice we're doing this before you actually finish the writing of the book for a reason, right? All right, cool, cool, cool. Done, done. Awesome. All right, so that's on feeling. Now we're gonna go into action. What action, if any, do you want your reader to take? So do you want them to take a specific action at the finishing of your book? Or is it just the idea that gets implanted or the emotion that was just in the previous one? Is that it? Or do you want them to take a specific action when they read your book? And if yes, what is that action that you want them to take? All right. So this one is on action. Is there any action that your reader should take when they finish reading your book? For some of you, if it's not a specific action, it might just be, it could be join my email list. It could be something like that. It could be, I want them to implement this practice. I want them to act differently. Like if I'm teaching a book about, let's say, if I'm doing a book on racism in Islam or something, I want people to stop being racist, right? Like that's what I want them to do. That's the action that I want them to do. So you want to think about what's the action that you want your person to take. You may have more than one, or it could just be one action. Okay, I think you guys are done with that. All right, everybody done with that? Okay, so now here's the last one. What's the point, right? What's the point? I want you all to go back to something we talked about yesterday, which is having a clear takeaway message for your book. A clear takeaway message for your book. This is kind of like the summary, if you will, right, of your book. Like the point, like what's the point of it, right? So right at this point, off of everything that we kind of talked about up to here, we should be able to write like a 2-sentence takeaway message from our book. When somebody invests 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, however long it takes them to read the book, we should have a clear takeaway message from this book. All right. So I want you to type your clear takeaway message into the chat box. When I see when I see all 4 of you all, like your takeaway message is in the box, then I'll know that we're clear with this part. Banana, bam, 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 bam. Awesome. Discover your passions and learn to live on purpose. Awesome. So I discovered my passions, right? Yeah, so I have discovered my passions and I'm gonna live on purpose. Okay, Dr. Alexis and Selwa, put your thing in there. Your takeaway message. Yes. There is more to Yemen than terrorism and war. Awesome. Cool. And Dr. Alexis, put yours in there. All right, so while she's putting hers in, The whole purpose of this, you all, is so that you, again, know your audience intimately. Can you see how many levels there are to knowing your audience, right? All of these things assist us when it comes time to fleshing out any of our drafts, when it comes time to deciding what type of testimonials we want in the book, or case studies or examples we want in the book. The things that we want are going to be related to what we want from our reader. If we want our reader to feel a certain way, we're going to put something in the book that brings that feeling about. If we want them to learn a certain thing, we're going to put that into the book so that they actually get that knowledge that we say we want. If we want them to have a certain emotional state, we're going to put that into the book so that they get that emotional state. Nothing happens by happenstance. Like, we have to be very intentional, and we have to be very conscious of the material that we're putting into the book. So this is why, again, like, we're pulling that back, that arrow. We're pulling back the arrow. We're going into deeper depths when it's relating to our audience and when it's relating to the overall feelings and goals that we want our reader to have. So that when I'm doing the writing, or if I've already written the draft, but I want to go in and go through a second level and maybe organize some things differently, I know what it is I'm trying to achieve in the book, right? I know what it is I am going to be getting out of it, okay? So great, 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 great job. We're going to pause right here. It's 12:36 p.m. So we're going to do a 10-minute break. Let's just do 9 minutes. Let's just say, 12:45. So we'll do 9-minute break. Go out, get some fresh air, do whatever you got to do. Use the restroom, grab a snack, brain food, grab some walnuts, something to make your brain work. But don't sit at the computer. Get up and move around. I'll see you back at 12:45 for session 2 of today, of day 2.